Okay, well, good morning, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with our wonderful, hardworking mayors and members of council for this exciting announcement for all residents of Windsor-Tecumseh and Essex County. I would like to first begin by acknowledging that the land that we are meeting on is the unceded territory of the Three Fires Confederacy of First Nations, the Ojibwa, the Ottawa, and the Potawatomi. From the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, our government's #1 focus has been the health and safety of Canadians. And now, with more than 70% of eligible Canadians vaccinated, we're helping towns and municipalities across Canada build and improve community infrastructure so they can rebound and recover from the pandemic. And as we recover, creating green infrastructure and reinventing our outdoor spaces will encourage residents to re-engage, connect, and explore our communities. Today, I am proud to share that the federal government is investing over $4.6 million to support 12 public infrastructure projects in the town of Tecumseh and across Essex County that will increase options for active transportation, revitalize downtown cores and main streets, and renovate community centers and municipal buildings, including this beautiful new Tecumseh Town Hall where we're gathered here this morning. Of this total funding, $2.25 million will flow through the Canada Community Revitalization Fund, and an additional $2.37 million will be invested through Infrastructure Canada's COVID-19 Resiliency Stream. I'll soon invite each of the mayors to share details of their exciting projects, but suffice it to say that we all know that improving community amenities and spaces in Windsor or Tecumseh, LaSalle or Lakeshore improves the quality of life for all residents of Windsor-Essex. Before I hand it over to Warden McNamara to start things off, I want to speak about one project in particular that I have truly enjoyed partnering with him on. A project that is very close to my heart as someone who loves cycling. I am pleased to announce that the town of Tecumseh will leverage $750,000 of federal funding from the Community Revitalization Fund to construct a 2.4-kilometer recreational multi-use trail on Riverside Drive, from the Tecumseh-Windsor border all the way to Manning Road. Picture a seamless bicycle ride from Johns Pond on the Ganacho Trail to Sandpoint Beach to Lakewood Park and beyond. This historic extension of Tecumseh's multi-use trail along Riverside Drive will finally connect Windsor-Tecumseh's trail systems together through a long-anticipated connection to the Ganacho Trail and beyond. Connecting bike trails in Windsor-Tecumseh together has been a goal of Mayor McNamara and I, even during my time as City Councillor. I think of the multi-use trail on Mulberry, the multi-use trail along McNorton, the multi-use trail along Little River Road, and now the queen of bike trails, Ganacho and Riverside Drive. And we are not done yet. Our federal government just announced a $400 million active transportation fund, and I look forward to working with Mayor Dilkins, Mayor McNamara, and all of our mayors gathered here today to go after that funding and significantly expand bike and walking trails across all communities, all municipalities in Windsor-Essex. As some of you may know, I am a city councillor at heart, and I am so proud and so honored to stand beside these incredible, forward-thinking, hard-working mayors working together to make our communities better. And with that, I would now like to introduce Mayor of Tecumseh and Warden of Essex County, Gary McNamara. Gary?
Well, good morning, everyone, and I am extremely delighted to be here today alongside our Member of Parliament, Ira Kuzmerchik, and all of my colleagues behind me from County Council and as well as the town of Tecumseh. Well, I am extremely excited, and so on behalf of our council and administration for the town of Tecumseh, I'm pleased to extend my sincere appreciation to you, MP Kuzmerchik, along with the Ministry of Infrastructure and the Ministry of Economic Development for these funding allocations. Today's announcement brings great news for us here in Tecumseh, and we were successful in our application to the Canada Community Revitalization Fund in the amount of $750,000 for the Riverside Drive Trail project. This funding, through the Ministry of Economic Development in official languages, aims to assist communities to build and improve community infrastructure projects in an effort to recover from the effects of COVID-19, the pandemic. The Riverside Drive Trail project was approved by Council in June, and we are looking forward to getting this project going. The multi-use recreational trail will connect the existing active transportation facilities between the Ganacho Trail in Windsor and the trails connecting Lakewood Park in Tecumseh and moving on to the town of Lakeshore. This will provide an additional mobility option for pedestrians and cyclists in our community. And I want to thank the Government of Canada for its support for this major project through a $750,000 contribution. The town's share of the cost will therefore be reduced by approximately $500,000. Detailed design on the trail has begun, and meetings with our utility companies and property owners will commence later this year, and we are targeting construction for spring of '22. I am also thankful for the money we are receiving under the COVID-19 Resilience Fund as we continue to deal with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The safety and well-being of our residents and town staff has been a top priority. And with this funding, we will be able to perform updates to the town hall to support physical distancing while assisting the COVID resilience program and include updates. The replacement of 10 HVAC units to provide better air quality to reduce the spread of airborne disease, the installation of glass barriers and electronic wayfinding signs to enhance our physical distancing, the addition of portable air filtration units in all of our other town facilities, and the installation of an electronic online appointment booking system and an electronic payment system for bulk water purchases to reduce person-to-person interaction. The work is already underway on these improvements, and with the reopening of our town hall last week, we are happy to be able to welcome back our residents in a safe manner. We share the excitement with this funding and what it means for the needs of our community in helping keeping our residents safe, healthy, active, and engaged. So once again, MP Krczmarzyk, thank you so much for this worthwhile investment in our community.
Thanks, Gary. Well, thank you so much, Warden McNamara, for those terrific words. And absolutely, we are so excited about this partnership. I'd now like to ask Mayor Larry Snively, the mayor of the town of Essex, to say a few words. Larry.
Thank you, Eric. First of all, I want to thank you for the funding. That $750,000 is going right into our streetscape program. It's a $7 million project. What we're doing a facelift on the town of Essex and the town of Harrow. But it's a total of $7 million investment. We're putting in new sidewalks, resurfacing the roads, new lights, new planters, new bike racks are going to go into the town of Essex. So this is a project that I had in mind 10 years ago, and it's finally coming to reality. And like I say, the funding, we couldn't thank you enough for the funding. So through the senior levels of government and the minister that's here today, thank you very much for the funding, and you'll like the results of what's coming out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and absolutely we are excited for that incredible project in the town of Essex, and I know all the mayors and councillors here and all of us are excited to grab a beer on a street side patio once the work is completed. Next, I would like to call to the podium the Mayor of Kingsville, my friend, Mayor Nelson Santos.
Thank you, Eric, and especially thank you for inviting us from the region to come together again to celebrate great announcements and news and investments in the infrastructure that's happening across our communities. The funding that the town of Kingsville has been graciously accepting is a part of the Resilience Fund to help restore activity and enhance accessibility within our community. So we're looking at putting dollars right into paving trails into our community, into our accessible parks like Lakeside Park or Historical Park, that will now provide greater accessibility for those that have been utilizing it for walking, cycling, hiking, and more importantly, paving the trail provides a greater accessibility for all members of our community. So the funding will be put to use immediately within this year, and we look forward to seeing the greater access and events that we can perform and provide for, from the Terry Fox Run to the cycling tours that we have in our community. Funding will be put to use and be celebrated. So thank you for that, and thank you for the invitation to bring us together collectively.
Thanks so much, Mayor Santos. And next, I'd like to call upon Tom Bain, the mayor of the municipality of Lakeshore, to share some words about his project.
Thank you very much, Eric. Couldn't have been better timing on this grant. I mean,
Amen.
we know, as I sit in my office in Bell River and look out, the people walking on the streets has tripled. The people walking down at our lakefront has tripled. It's amazing. They're out there walking, they're biking. So we are going to take our money and split it into two projects. The first one is going to be to help with along our trails that we have along the waterfront, and to put in the washrooms there with touchless doors, so that the people, something new, and people won't have to worry about the COVID problems and touching the doors, handles of someone else. And the second part of our project, probably after today's announcement, I heard even more important, because we heard today that they're closing down the beach in Bell River. Part of that project is to use that funding. We're re-dredging the river there, and we're cleaning up the whole lakefront. So that's going to go towards that. Unfortunately, the beach gets closed and people are still out there. And that is not healthy, that's not good. And this is going to help us to go ahead and dredge that, to make sure that that water flows, keeps going, things are nice and clean, and we don't hear announcements that your beach is closed this weekend from the health unit. So we're on that project already, and this is going to help us do that. So certainly from the town of Lakeshore, thank you very much for that, Iric, and much appreciated.
Thanks,
Thank
Tom.
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Tom. That's an exciting project. Next, I'd like to call upon the mayor of the town of LaSalle, Mark Bondi. Mark?
Thank you, MP Iric Kuzmarczyk. This is every time I see you, it's receiving a check. He was in our municipality last year, giving us a little over $14 million or DMA grant, and we appreciate that. And we're in plans now to get the engineering done so we can spend that money wisely. We appreciate the $750,000 we're using to renovate our Westport building, which was an old marina site, which is part of our 65-acre waterfront, Petite Côte, Small Coast Waterfront project. And where are you? Town of Tecumseh is beautiful, and everybody has nice waterfronts. Ours is coming. It might be a 10-year project and over $50 million, but when it's done, we're going slow, and we're hopefully going to do it once the right way. So we thank you. We thank you for having us here. It's nice to have people together. Thank you for Tecumseh for hosting us, and I have to hurry up because we're going to spend that $750 real quick.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much, Mayor Bondi. And you know what's amazing. You know, I talked about the fact that we have these forward-thinking, hardworking mayors here. They are, all of them are go-get-stuff-done mayors, and I think the secret to that is just how collaborative they all are. They work together, and I think the reason why is because I think there's an understanding here that, again, whether the improvements are in LaSalle, whether they are in Tecumseh, in Windsor, in Lakeshore, in Leamington, Kingsville, Essex, all those improvements, all those investments benefit all of us in Windsor and Essex County, because again, the region is our playground. This is home, and so I just wanted to say thank you so much for your tremendous leadership. And I'm delighted to, certainly last but not least, I am absolutely delighted to introduce the mayor and the municipality of Leamington, Hilda McDonald, to the mic. Hilda.
Thank you, Eric. I will say to you though, I believe we are the least sexy of the projects, but just like in your house, it's the least sexy that keeps the house going, correct? Like the sewers and the septic and so on. But we are so grateful for this $440,000 in combination with the province. It is for an emergency generator for our Nature Fresh sports complex. The need first came to light back in 2010 when we had the tornado touchdown, and that center, the sports complex, was the evacuation center. And we said, had that tornado touched down there, we would have been up a creek. We would have been in big trouble. And the council of that time, we always wanted to pay for an emergency generator, but it was always the thing that got dropped off when it came to budget time, right? It was about almost a 2% increase in the tax rate. So those things are always the ones that are kind of easy to knock off. You need them, but you don't need them day to day. So then, fast forward to COVID-19, we housed the testing, sorry, not the inoculation at first, the testing for the migrant workers. And again, we said, boy, oh boy, if we had a severe weather event, that would have been shut down. And at that time, that was crucial. We have 10,000 workers coming in. We need to get them tested and moved on. And now we're still housing the vaccination center until the 21st of August. And with the weather events we've had in the last 3 weeks, my gosh, I noticed how many municipalities were out of hydro the other day, and it wasn't Leamington, just saying. But again, it impresses upon us all the need to have that kind of non-sexy infrastructure in place. So thank you for that. My council is very pleased because it is not on the upcoming budget that we'll be discussing in late fall. These are always things that we need help with, and we appreciate it, Eric. Thank you to the federal government for the very substantial contribution. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Mayor. Guys, and everyone knows when it comes to mayors, pragmatic is the new sexy, so that's all to the good. Last but certainly not least, you may have noticed some folks here wearing bright yellow, beautiful bright yellow jerseys and their bikes here, and every Thursday evening you'll see about 100 riders from the Tecumseh Windsor Slow Ride on their bikes, pedaling down the Ganacho Trail and up and down side streets in our two communities. They embody not only the health benefits of active transportation, but they are a true embodiment of how cycling infrastructure helps build community and connections between Windsor and Tecumseh and across Windsor-Essex. They are incredible ambassadors in our two communities. Deputy Mayor Joe Bicchetti and I, and Mayor McNamara as well, participated in a number of Tecumseh Windsor slow rides, and I have to tell you that it is absolutely awesome. I am honored to invite to the podium one of the founders and organizers of the Tecumseh Windsor Slow Ride, Lisa Levesque, a true champion of bike trails and active transportation in Windsor-Tecumseh. And Lisa, I call you to the podium. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. I'm standing here today proudly with the other members of the Slow Ride group, but there's one person that's missing today, the founder and the person who planted the seed and idea for the Tecumseh Windsor Slow Ride, my dad, Alan Imlay, who passed away March 14th from COVID. The Tecumseh Windsor Slow Ride, as mentioned, is an all-ages community group bike ride that rides through the streets of Tecumseh and East Windsor. We meet weekly, and we have approximately 80 to 100 riders ride with us. Our ride is organized and led by volunteers, and there's absolutely no cost to our riders. The ride is open to people of all ages and abilities. Our oldest rider is 92, and our youngest rider is 6. Over the past 3 years, our riders have formed new friendships, and the feedback from participants is overwhelmingly positive. The camaraderie and welcoming spirits from the neighborhoods, from the participants, is unbelievable. Tecumseh is our beloved town, and we are ingrained into the fabric of its history and dedicated to its future. I can think of no better way to showcase our community than on the, in streetscapes than on a bicycle. This was my dad's vision. Cycling was something we did almost daily. The trail expansion was extremely important to him. It was important enough that during our last conversation, moments before he was to be intubated and put into ICU, and just after telling me how proud he was of the work we did together and our lives we had built, he asked me to keep fighting for this trail. Although I agreed without hesitation and continued to be vocal and an advocate for this trail, I didn't really understand why this, of all things, was literally his dying wish. If you knew my dad personally, you would know this without a doubt. This was not any type of legacy request. He was a humble and quiet man. He just wasn't that type of guy. I've taken the past few months to really reflect on why this trail was so important to him. My dad loved riding the trails throughout the county. He was so impressed by what LaSalle had done, Kingsville, all through the entire county. He thoroughly enjoyed cycling and frequenting those pathways and roads. He supported urban infrastructure. He was instrumental in advocating for the bike lanes on Les Browns Road that we rode on to get here today. He loved cycling with his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. The reason this was his dying wish is because it was important to him that other families are able to experience the sheer joy we had together on these trails and pathways. This announcement today solidifies the commitment and priority for us as a community and as a country, and as a county and as a country. Enjoying the outdoors is not just a leisurely activity for some of us. It is literally the way we live our lives. It is the way being outdoors is the Canadian way of life. So on behalf of the Slow Ride team and on behalf of my dad, I want to thank the honorable members of our council and for IRIC and the federal government for building a future that we can all enjoy outside. On rollerblades, on skateboards, on bicycles. Building outdoor active transportation is a gift, not only for ourselves, but for our children's children. I hope to see you all out on the trails soon. Thank you.
Lisa, thank you so much. That was the best speech because it was from the heart, and you honored your dad's legacy tremendously with your words. That was absolutely beautiful, and it just highlights in triple, bold highlighter just what these types of investments mean to communities and to families and to people in communities like ours. So thank you so much for those amazing words. Thank you. That concludes today's announcement.